Hey there, Smoke Master D coming at you with a barbecue buyer's guide. This one, two ceramic Kamado grills, and this is part two, Grill v Grill. We had a part one that was an overview of all of these Kamado grills. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to link it on the screen. You can go see that before or after you want to view this video. But this one is about direct comparisons using the data. All right, so I decided to break down the comparisons by budget. So you're going to see different budget ranges here. And if you want to jump ahead to whatever your budget is, if you want to watch it all, that's great too. Please do like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm always trying to put out some more great barbecue content. I've got the countdowns that I'm doing, as well as these barbecue buyer's guide and maybe a few other things thrown in as well. So I do appreciate your support. Now, what is the basis for comparison here? I decided that I was going to even the playing field by including all of these things. Now, some of these package deals do include all these things, which is really why I had to go this way. So we're going to include the cover, the heat diffuser, basic cradle. I'm not going to get into those tables or anything like that. Maximum grate space. So if there's more grates to buy to upgrade that space. The tax and shipping to North Carolina. I price these things out to myself. My tax rate here is about 7%. A lot of these, the shipping's not as big a deal as for like offset smokers or what have you. But as we go through these next few slides, do take a look at those numbers and try to think, would they be different for you? I also threw the side shelves in. Now, these next few slides I'm going to go through. I'm going to throw up some music. So if you want to pause to take a closer look, you can do that. And hopefully I got all these figures right. I did my best, but we're going to be using those total prices when we are in the actual matchups themselves. Now, also, you're going to see some icons for some of the retailers that I got these prices from on some of the screens. If you don't see one for like a secondary or intermediate retailer, I probably got the price from that company's website itself. Okay, so let's take a look. A quick note for Saffire, I assumed a free store pickup and 7% tax. Grill v Grill. And now we're starting off with the $700 to $900 price range. All right, and Vision HD and the Vision Pro are going to take it there. All right, but the Char-Griller Ceramic Akorn is going to have the largest primary inches. And one thing to consider with this, the primary inches, is that it's going to be wider. So that's, how many inches you have without these secondary grates, which is also going to be horizontal space, but it could also be more vertical space too for that larger sort of bowl. So keep that in mind. And then that Vision Pro is going to about double its space with that secondary shelf. The Pit Boss K22 is going to be right behind it. And then, the Vision Pro is going to take it there again for dollar per square inch. Now, I like to think of pounds as being, if it's heavier, you've got more steel or more ceramic. So I like to think of it as a value kind of thing. And the Char-Griller Ceramic Akorn seems to have the most value in that vein. The Vision Pro and the Pit Boss K22 are very close together, so I gave it to them both for the second place points. I only decided to give the Char-Griller the points here for that 378 per pound. I think that these stainless steel fold-up are better than the porcelain coated that this Char-Griller Ceramic Akorn has. Its little secondary shelf, I believe, is stainless steel, but that porcelain, it's good, it's gonna cook well, but if it gets chipped or scratched somehow, rust will be able to get in, so my preference is stainless steel, and if you wanna rearrange the points in your mind somehow, you can, but that's who I'm gonna give points to for myself. Now, ash removal system, always something that I'm thinking about and I think is very important. The Vision Pro and this Char-Griller Ceramic Akorn have slide-out ashtrays, whereas the Vision HD and Pit Boss K22 have no way to clean out the ashes except, scoop them out yourself from the top. Now, one thing to think about with these stars is where they were generated. I trust Amazon the most because I think that they have some sort of equation where they privilege some over others, maybe more recent ratings. So it's not you just put in the rating and they average it in. Whereas I think that is probably the scheme for most of these websites. Amazon does a little bit more than that, uh, but I have to go with what I have, and it appears that these two vision are higher star counts than the Pit Boss K22 and Char-Griller Ceramic Akorn. And that being said, star counts, what is their star rating, really has to do with the consumer experience, especially, was it damaged coming to the consumer? Did it break or start rusting almost immediately or not? Did they have a really good experience? How is customer service? So all those kind of things play into these star ratings, which I think are very important when making this decision. So Vision seems to have good ones, so that's good. Right. And for these shelves, I decided not to give any points for these because I don't know exactly what the heat resistance is in the finish on these bamboo shelves. So I decided just not to touch that. And I had to give points where they're due. That electric lighting port that Vision has, there's that sort of heating element that you can stick in through the port. I think it is cool if that's how you want to light your charcoal. I use a chimney a lot, so I might just do that instead of this lighting port, even if I had that Vision Pro. But I think it is a cool sort of thing, so got to give it some points too. All right, and yeah, the Vision Pro is going to take it. It is the winner of our first matchup. Good job, Vision Pro. All right, and now we've got the Kong Bayou Classic and Pit Boss K24. Now, one thing that I want to note about this K24 over here is that it is apparently been so popular that it's sold out, and the price that you see there is not through Walmart, who I think would have a better price, and you wouldn't have to pay, shipping because you could probably pick it up in the store. But I was not able to get a price through Walmart here for this episode. So know that that could change the layout of some of this to come. And if you are able to find a better price there, maybe that is something to consider. But I gave it to the Kong and then the Bayou Classic. All right, and the square inches, Pit Boss is number one here, and then the Kong. And then total inches, the Kong is very close, but the Pit Boss K24 edges it out just a little bit as well. All right, and then the dollar per inches squared, right? Now Kong takes it. So very close between this Kong and Pit Boss K24. All right, and then the Bayou Classic at 235 is going to take one, and then the K24 behind it. All right, and then the dollar per pound Bayou Classic takes it as well, and then the Kong. right, this one's important. The Kong is the cheapest Kamado that I've found with all stainless steel components. And that's important because stainless steel is going to last a whole lot longer than these painted or powder coated metal cradles and components that gird these Kamados for the Bayou Classic, for the Boss K24, for all the Kamados in the last slide. So the longevity of this Kong is going to be higher, and maybe that even deserves more than 5 points, but I'm just going to give it 5 points here. Longevity is important. It's something to keep in mind. The hinges on this thing, all the stuff holding up those shelves, stainless steel. The ash removal, not so great here. You can buy the kick ash can for an extra cost on the Kong. Nothing for the other two. And you're going to see that the stars from Amazon, there was only 6 ratings. I want to see a whole lot more than 6 ratings. So they had that 3.7 rating from Amazon, but 6 ratings isn't enough to give a good rating. So I took the rating from Grilla and I averaged it out. Do they censor the ratings? I don't know. But I decided to give it that 4.87. And the 4.2 for Amazon, 3 stars for the Bayou Classic. Oh man, that's terrible. Yep, Bayou Classic, their Cypress one there is not something that I would recommend. All right, and they all have bamboo shelves. And this last one that I'm going to be doing on a lot of the slides going forward, the accessories. What options are there for upgrading? The kick ash basket, the kick ash can from Grilla, some really good options. The AT cart, if you want to wheel this thing around on golf cart style wheels around your yard, that's pretty cool. And that's through Grilla Grills. So another 5 points there for the Kong. And it is the winner of this matchup. Congratulations, Kong. You are the champion. All right, and here we've got the Elite Deluxe, Saffire Bronze Large, Kamado Joe Classic II, and the Primo Round. And the Elite Deluxe, and then the Round is going to take it. And the Elite Deluxe with the inches primary, and then the Bronze Large. Right, the Bronze Large is going to have the most overall total, and then the Kamado Joe Classic II. And then, we're going to have dollar per square inch. So the Saffire and then the Kamado. The heaviest ones are going to be the Kamado Joe and then the Elite Deluxe. And then dollar per pound is going to reverse. And then we're going to have the Elite Deluxe and then the Kamado Joe. All right, everybody has stainless steel grates except for this Elite one that has cast iron bottom and then stainless steel top. I decided not to score this one just because I don't care as much for cast iron, but maybe you do. It has, gives you those grill marks if you want those. I prefer stainless steel. That's me. The Vision there has the ash removal tray, and the Kamado Joe also has an ash removal tray. The Primo, you have to buy the ash removal tool for an extra cost. Not great. Saffire, you can buy an ash pan for extra cost too. So, I gave it to the Kamado and the Vision. All right, the stars. So the Kamado Joe and the Primo are a little bit higher than the Vision over there. 4.6 for the Vision. Now it's very close. 4.7 and 4.6. Not a huge difference. Saffire. Their grills are not sold widely in other places like Amazon, really. So I wasn't able to find a star count. So you're probably not going to see any for Saffire. It's going to hurt them a little bit overall, but what can you do, I talked about the Crucible firebox and the multi-panel firebox in my last Kamado video. but they are going to be superior to these other ones in that they're not going to break as easily because they have multiple parts. So when the heat expands the those materials, they're going to have room to expand and not, get to the brittle part and break. And then for the accessories, yeah, Kamado Joe, they have the best accessories. Jutisserie, Dojo, Soapstone. They've got a lot more than that. Those are the things that I think are the coolest. I gave secondary points to the grill light for vision and the wood chip port for the Sapphire Bronze. Kamado Joe Classic II is the winner. Congratulations, Kamado Joe Classic II. All right, and now the Elite Maxes. Platinum Large, Classic 3, and the Large Green Egg. Let's see. The Elite Maxes is the cheapest, and then the Classic 3 for Kamado Joe. All right, and then the primary inches, we've got the most for the Elite Maxes, and then for the Platinum Large. Then, yeah, we have total inches squared, right? And the same, it kind of has flipped here. Now the Platinum Large has the most, and the Elite Max is a little bit less. And then dollar per inches squared, a lot between this Sapphire and the Vision. So it's $252 per inches squared, and then $228. So a really good number for the Vision. All right, and now for the weight, the Vision is going to take it there, and then the Kamado Joe Classic III. All right, and dollar per pound, also between the Vision and the Kamado Joe. All right, and then we've got the stainless steel. We saw this in the last slide. I'm not going to give anybody points on this one, but just be aware of it. All right, ash removal. We're going to see that for the Vision and for the Kamado Joe. There is an ash pan included with the Sapphire. I prefer the slide out tray. I suppose I could have given secondary points to the Sapphire, but I just like those slide out trays better. So I'm going to give it to Vision and Kamado and exclude the others. Yeah, and then we've got the star ratings. So it's going to go to the Kamado Joe and also to the Big Green Egg. The thing about this is it's the egg only. I couldn't find it for this package deal. So, what the stars are for on the website of Big Green Egg is just the egg, not the cradle, not the side shelves. Yeah, so I decided to give it secondary points. So there it is there. Now, the fireboxes we've talked about before, Kamado Joe and Saffire are superior fireboxes. The accessories, okay, so Kamado Joe has the better ones there, again, like usual. And the slow roller. The slow roller does deserve points, which is why I've given it those points to Kamado Joe. And what do we have here? It appears to be a tie between the Vision Elite Maxis and the Kamado Joe Classic III. We've not had a tie before, I think, in all the time that I've been doing this. So congratulations both to the Vision Elite Maxis and to the Kamado Joe Classic III. All right, and now we have the price range of $2,000 to $2,250 overall. Primo Oval Large, Saffire XL Large, and the Big Joe 2. And to the Primo and the Sapphire are going to take it for overall price. The primary rate space, the Big Joe 2, however, is going to take it, and then the Sapphire after that. And then the Sapphire is going to take it for space overall, and the Kamado Joe under that. The Primo has a good deal less. The Sapphire and the Big Joe maybe have 3 levels, whereas it has 2. So That probably is going to play a part there. And it's also going to play a part here in the dollar per square inch. So this Saffire is going to take it, and then the Big Joe. The Big Joe 2 is the heaviest, so I often equate, how much weight and heft there is with value. And it's gonna win out on dollar per pound as well there, second place to the Saffire. All right, I'm gonna give out points, and really it's a wash, being that the ovular shape there for the Primo is gonna come into play and give it the 5 points. But the fireboxes for these two are also really great, something that the Primo doesn't have, so they're gonna get points there and cancel out those. All right, and yeah, the Kamado is the only one with the ash removal tray, ash pan extra cost on the Saffire, and just an ash tool for the Primo. All right, so for stars, yeah, Big Joe takes it. Saffire doesn't have stars, and wow, 4 is low, but that's for the large on Amazon. So yeah, the Jutisserie, the Dojo, and the Soapstone. There's a glazed pizza stone that the Primo has. I talked about that in my last video. Don't know if it's good or bad that it's glazed. Saffire doesn't have a whole lot of accessories. Yeah, and the Big Joe 2 is the winner overall. It's gonna win out, and I think it should. So there it goes. All right, now we've got the Big Joe 3, the Big Green Egg Extra Large, the Saffire Platinum XL, and the Extra Large Oval. This is the largest group that we're going to do. I do think that there may be some larger Kamados out there, but this is our limit. And they've got the biggest prices as well. This is the largest range of prices too, with that extra large oval down there at 2,400 about, and the Big Joe 3 up there at 3,100. So very, very, very large range. The Primo and the Big Green Egg are going to take it there. It's going to share for the space there at the primary level. So 452 on both the Big Joe and the Big Green Egg Extra Large. All right. And then that Big Green Egg is going to have even a little bit more, and that's an estimate. It was very hard to find hard numbers on some of these. The Primo was difficult. I finally got that figured out. But the Big Green Egg, for the extra greats, they just don't really provide those numbers. So I just had to do some math actually. And I think that it's about 964. If you have a Big Green Egg, extra large, and you have all the greats, do measure them for us and put those down in the comments. But the Saffire has the most. There it is, 1095. All right, and the Saffire is also going to have it for a dollar per square inch, and then the Big Green Egg after that. Kamado Joe is going to come back with the weight. Dollar per pound, it actually takes it, even though it's $3,000. That extra weight there is, it's tall. It's a tall one. And then the Primo extra large after that. The stainless steel cradle for the Saffire Platinum extra large is what I'm giving the points to. Now there's going to be a push bar on the cradle of that Big Green Egg, so that's going to be good for pushing it around. The cradle design on this Big Joe 3 is designed for the storage of the slow roller and the grates, so I have to give it its due as well. Primo, nothing there. So, like always, the ash removal tray for Kamado Joe is going to take it. The ash pan is included on the Saffire Platinum XL, so that's nice. Another thing when you get into these bigger sizes is that really star ratings are much harder to come by. So I couldn't find them except for the Kamado Joe Big Joe 3, so I decided not to give any points for that. The fireboxes, of course, they keep racking up the points for these guys, but for Saffire and Kamado Joe. And then, the slow roller. So these are some extra features The ovular shape, of course, we've talked about that before. The wood chip port and feeder, yeah, I'm only going to give it silver. And nothing really stands out about the big green egg. It set the standard, but it never really seemed to go past the standard, uh, in my opinion. I really like the Kamado Joe accessories. I've said that before in this video. And I'm going to give some points to the big green egg. They do have a lot of them. They have a lot of table and modular stuff going on that I don't appreciate quite as much as maybe some people do. And if you're into that and you want, the tables or whatever, I think you can do that with some of these other ones. But Big Green Egg really does kind of have a corner on that in some ways. For my points, they're going to go to the Jotisserie and the Dojo and all the really cool accessories that Kamado Joe has. And if we look at it, Big Joe 3 is going to win. Saffire, I believe, is next, and then the Big Green Egg. And Primo really hasn't done very well in anything yet. And that's a little too bad because I think that ovular shape is really cool. And if they applied themselves, maybe they could. Here we go, the winner's circle. Kamado Joe comes out as the biggest winner here. You really can't go wrong with them, in my opinion. They make a really quality Kamado cooker. Vision Grills too has some good stuff. The Maxis we have there and the Pro. And then we've got the Grilla Grills with that stainless steel. Now, if I had my budget under $1,000, I'd be getting that Pro from Vision. If I had a bit more than 1,000, I'd be going for the Kong there from Grilla Grills. And if I had above what I was paying for the Kong, I would certainly think about all these Kamado Joes and see what would fit my style. There it is, the winner's circle. Now, that's it for this episode. I hope you found all those figures and comparisons helpful. If you own one of these Kamados, please put your review in the comments and like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll have some more awesome content out to y'all soon. Now go get your smoke on, y'all.